Morihiro Saito has been studying Aikido for 24 of his 54 years and is said to be the only man in the world to fully understand the weapon techniques of the art, which is rapidly gaining in popularity throughout the world. An estimated 1 million people practice it in America, and although there are only about 200 exponents in Australia, the numbers are growing all the time. Unlike judo or karate, there are no rules or competitions. Aikido is concerned solely with real combat, where no holds are barred, which is perhaps why it's popular as a method of self-defense on the streets of America. Basically, it involves turning an attacker's power and aggression against him, a technique demonstrated with surprising ease by the paternal-looking Mr. Saito, even against 3 Australian experts who have studied under him for years.
In 1988, my first deshi received a shodan. In 1992, Saito Sensei made the decision to establish Iwama Aikido to create what he called a preservation society, Hoson Kai, for the Aikido that was taught by O Sensei in Iwama from 1945 to 1960. Iwama Aikido is the founder's Aikido. Morihiro Saito Sensei, the technical heir of Aikido, chose me, Michael Field, as his representative in Australia. Mark and Uta von Merendonk Senseis were the chosen representatives in Germany. Ethan Weisgart Sensei, the chosen representative in Denmark. Daniel Tutain Sensei in France, Ulf Evans Shihan as his representatives in Northern Europe, and Paolo Corellini Shihan was the chosen representative for South Europe. I was chosen as the representative for Australia. Iwama Aikido Australia is dedicated to teaching the Aikido developed by the founder during the Iwama years 1945 to 1960, which is Aikido with atami, strikes to vital points, with irimi, entering, and initiation of techniques by tori, person executing the technique, not blurring the distinction between a mote and ura. To practice the aiki riai of open-handed, sword and staff techniques following the founder's kuden, saying of the way. While practicing open-handed technique, think weapons. Iwama Aikido is a budo that was intended by the founder to be martially effective. Iwama Aikido is not to be confused with other Aikidos, which due to their soft, casual nature of practice, would be better called health or exercise systems.
People from all over the world start calling this style as the Iwama style. Today, Sensei would like to go through the seminar in a Iwama style. こうすればね、このこっちがはい。この右側。はい。ね。ただね、パッこのこっちが。右側。それが気の流れ。This is the 気の流れ。一つね。
Saito Sensei's ukes here are myself, Mick Morelli, Derek Minus, Saburo Takayasu,
Grip hard, grip hard. Then someone kick your face, therefore make sure that your hand properly face.
この手が下から平行になる。この肘が
Sensei's arm is getting parallel to the opponent's arm.
まっすぐはできない。
If you move straight, it doesn't work.
これは全然問
Okay, think about that.
題。だからこ
With hara, which is from hip around hip.
後ろ。
Hand doesn't move itself.
同じです。武道だからいつも一人で大勢を考えます。
This is martial art, therefore always you think about others in a number, single enemy.
同じです。
Always you are aware there is another attacker there.
左半身から右半身。左半身から右半身。
Right hand hand to synchronize your mind to the phone, that's all. Just relax and grip hard.
直接いかないです。まずこれをします。そしてここを寄ります。
All
閉じま
arm movement coming from hip movement.
す。合わせ方、角度。動けなかったらちょっと力を抜いて。
If you can't move, just want to lose a little bit power, relax the power. But basically grip hard.
力 50% くらいでやってみて。
Okay, because of training for the first time, opponent grip about 50% of your power to grip.
力こう50%くらい。
About 50%.
こっちは完全に力抜いて。
Then relax totally to study the angle to approach.
はい、ちょっとやってみて。
Okay?
力です。
With again how you
こ
can
れは合わせです。
this synchronize or harmony with you. Alright?
モルテの呼吸法にはい。
This twisting Sensei's arm.
さあ、痛いです。
Very painful.
できない。
Can't move.
だからこれに合わせて、
Therefore,
こういうこれ楽になって、
follow his
これは
twisting.
はい。
Painful.
それからここへ行く。
Turn around. Great.
動けない。
Sensei can't move.
角度がありま
There is angle to approach. Angle.
す。
Grip hard. Good.
それが相手の呼吸法と角度。
This is Aiki Kokyu, which is a kind of extension of which you can choose.
側は呼吸がない。
Then this is Kokyu. Kokyu nage.
はい、どうぞ。相手から。
This time, avoid.
なるほど。
Then come inside.
たくさんありますね。最強はね。さっき言った回転台。そして回転固め技。たくさんの技が
All, you can choose.
側は呼吸がない。
Then this is Kokyu. Kokyu 球投げ。
はい、どうぞ。はい。
先生はコーナー、コーナー。
これはできない。
で、先生パンツ。
これが簡単です。
This is easy. Okay.
これは軽い。
This is very easy. But this one you can't.
これは軽い。だからこう、
Okay.
こう。で、それがね、軽い。またこうだ。
That's why you can move.
だからね。それを、はい。戻す。はい。こう来て、こう。
This time, Sensei has started from open hand, which is the hand means that
この手は、カタ。
two way.
どちらでも。じゃあ直接入る。
Straight in.
みんなポイントはない。これは
All standing Shianagas can be varied into Koshinagas.
Elbow is the
ここは腰だ。
pressure.
まず両手の腰投げはこれから入る。
This is basic.
はい、もうちょっとね。こう、こう、こう。これも直接入るのも足は前だもん。で、この足は間に。では前、では後ろ。はい、どうぞ。
Just before, opponent grab up.
この足を開きます。
Open body.
後ろに入る。
Then turn around into the delimit.
また。はい、出ます。
Sensei to initiate movement.
これと足が
Turn around.
早くやる。
Quickly.
こうね。
And three.
もう投げないで。これだけ。
Instead of
稽古は投げます。
but training, you throw.
ここでね。これでいいよ。柔術スタイルこれ。
This is jujutsu style.
今は
Now,
大きく後ろに行ってください。
big step inside to get right behind the him.
入れば
Therefore,
力はいらない。
one feet is inside the back, and you don't need so much power.
こっちは強いです。
But this one was his opponent is strong.
だから力はいらないわけです。
Which means that you don't need power, pull him back.
一番力のいらない方に。それを気の流れで。
Basically, no, no, no.
そこにいると次。
And from here, you understand the importance of the hand.
はい、どうぞ。
At his Hombu dojo in Tokyo, O-sensei allowed only Saito sensei and himself to teach weapons. According to Saito, this was because O-sensei was not happy with the weapons level of instructors. Ueshiba's Iwama Aikido requires the student to do more weapons than most want to. It is hard work, but the end result is a superior Aikido, O-sensei's Aikido. We switch roles. Morihiro Saito, O-sensei, spent 15 years combining into an integrated system the samurai weapons, sword and staff, with open-handed techniques where the three parts complement and enhance the whole. His open-handed techniques use the same stances, postures, movements and strategic principles as his weapons. He instructed his Iwama period, 1945 to 1960 students, to think weapons when practicing open-handed techniques and to think open-handed techniques when doing weapons. So the sword that O-sensei taught in Iwama from the mid-1950s is the sword of Aikido. Today, however, most Aikido schools, if they teach weapons at all, are not doing the founder's weapons. Some practice the Ido or some modern Kendo practices, which will not improve their open-handed technique as Iwama Ryu Kenjo sword and staff practices do. The practice of the Ido and Kendo are excellent in themselves, but the body postures they require the student to muscle learn preclude the deshi from ever mastering Ueshiba's Aikido. The chief reason for O-sensei's Aikiken not being taught in most Aikido dojos today is that only some Iwama deshi knew it, and there was not a lot of them. During the 1960s, Aikido's popularity grew quickly, which meant that lesser instructors could attract the following. Ueshiba's organisation, headed by his son, the late Doshu Kisamaru Ueshiba, was always being asked to supply instructors within Japan and for foreign countries. In Japan itself, no one who has a lower rank than 4th Dan is considered to be a sensei. 4th Dan is understood to be a master of the technical content of his chosen art. It is a historical fact that the Aikikai Hombu Deshi set out to teach did not know Morihei Ueshiba's sword, as of course they could not teach what they did not know. It was known that O-sensei taught sword, but as they did not have easy access to him, it was easier to teach the Ido or Kendo they had learnt at school or elsewhere. Another option taken by most was to do only open-handed technique. During his long life, Ueshiba had many students. Some went on to become well known. Of these, Many had gone their own way developmentally, with or without his blessing, long before he called what he was doing Aikido. With the ever-increasing popularity of Aikido, though, many of them, or their organisations, started calling what they did Aikido too, making it harder to find the founders' Aikido. Much of Aikido, as we know it today, is not what Ueshiba would have called Aikido himself. Sensei, Morihiro Saito, the founder of Aikido, were he alive today, would be very unhappy with most Aikido jujutsu, martial techniques, that there cannot be Aikido without the sword, as there cannot be samurai without the sword. Without the sword, the links to the samurai past is severed. He reviewed the work of Morihiro Saito, now being continued by some of his deshi, as the jujutsu tightrope to be crossed by all who wish to experience his Aikido. Do not block your vision.
This is very important. This right hand side is wrong.
Saito Sensei is doing the first three moves from the kata.
You must make sure the targeting of the head.
この2の時に周りを取る。
At point of number 2, you adjust the distance.
これはダメね。
So this is too close. Too close.
近い。
This time adjust the distance. Right distance to start.
2の時に
I am doing moves 4, 5, and 6 from the kata.
6.
The main obstacle to achieving O-Sensei's Aikido is the quality of Aikido teachers. In the best of worlds, all Aikido teachers would be fourth dan holders in both Aiki open-handed and Aiki weapons, be able to teach students how to change state of being and clear thinking. All teachers would be of good character, be good students themselves, and excellent role models for their students.
6.
There are some Aikido senseis that are all of those. So Morihei Ueshiba's Aikido is alive, but unless these senseis can replicate themselves through their best students, its long-term survival is not certain. Here, Sensei is doing 4, 5, and 6 from the 31 kata.
4, 5, 6.
Here I am doing 4, 5, and 6 from 31 kumi kata, and Sensei is doing a variation of the uke roll on 5 and 6.
This is not good. This is not good either. Always make a mistake. Four, 5, 6.
We have switched roles. Sensei is doing 4, 5, and 6 from the 31 kata.
5, 6. This is too dangerous, this one. Therefore, elbow is inside always.
Here I am doing 9, 10 and 11 from the 31 kata.
彼こうなれるのに
The bujutsu that Morihiro Saito bequeathed to us can only be found in what is commonly known in Aikido circles as Iwama and Iwama style schools. These days there are a number of Iwama Aikido streams. Dojos headed by senseis who are the direct Iwama students of the founder and Morihiro Saito Sensei, who claim to teach unaltered what they learned from the founder and Saito Sensei. For example, Hiroki Nomoto Sensei. Dojos headed by senseis who are the direct Iwama students of the founder and Morihiro Saito Sensei, who do not claim to teach unaltered what they learned from the founder and Saito Sensei, the technical heir. For example, Hitohiro Saito Sensei. Dojos headed by senseis who are the direct students of Morihiro Saito Sensei and are dedicated to preserving his technique to the best of their abilities, unaltered. For example, myself. All of these schools are proud to use the name Iwama Aikido. Dojos headed by senseis who are the direct students of Morihiro Saito Sensei and his son Hitohiro Saito Sensei, who shared the teaching workload at the Iwama Dojo with his father from 1987 until 2002, and are dedicated to preserving what they learnt from both teachers unaltered. There is confusion with these teachings, for as time went by, Hitohiro Sensei deviated from his father's technique, therefore O Sensei's technique also. Dojos headed by senseis who are direct students of Morihiro Saito Sensei, who are not dedicated to preserving his technique unaltered. Saito Sensei died in 2002.
Counts 9.
Some of his teaching student senseis, 4th dan holders and above, fit in this group. Dojos headed by senseis who are the direct Iwama students of the founder, who do not claim to teach unaltered what they learnt from the founder. Isayama Sensei, Shigami Inagaki Sensei, Hirasawa Sensei. Sensei is taking the kata roll.
14, 16, 17, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
はいどうぞ